Hey, welcome to Dit Dot. My name is Amanda. Tonight I've got a quick and fast, well, those mean the same thing. I've got a fast and healthy dinner planned. We're going to be making a seafood stir fry. So let's get started. So to friends of the channel, you know that I don't cook with recipes. So let's go ahead and take a look. I gathered up some ingredients. I've got some snow peas, some cabbage, some red bell pepper, carrot, celery, some mushrooms, and some water chestnuts. And I thought these would all go well with the fish that I want to cook today. So a lot of times when I'm doing a stir fry, I like to work right here next to the stove. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my burner, and I'm going to just put it on medium low because I don't have anything ready to actually go in it, but I do want to go ahead and get it started going. And I'm going to think about the density of my vegetables, and I'm going to put the ones that would take more cooking time in first. So I'm just using some avocado oil because it's a light neutral flavored oil, but you could also use olive oil or whatever your favorite cooking oil is. And the density of the vegetables that I have selected today, the carrot is going to be the most dense. So I'm going to go ahead and get it chopped up and into the skillet. So I didn't peel this carrot. I just gave it a quick rinse. It's gonna be fine. Next, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use cabbage. So this is a Savoy cabbage, I think. Hold on. Yeah, I think this is a Savoy cabbage. And it's been in my refrigerator in a plastic bag, but you can see there's some oxidization happening where it starts to turn brown. It's totally fine. What I'm gonna do is just slice off that part and go ahead and put that, if you've got compost or in the sink. And honestly, a little bit of oxidation is not gonna hurt you. You could totally cook with it. So let's see, cabbage cooks down quite a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and, probably do how much I think I need and then do double that. So I don't know about y'all, but we started school this last week. Okay, check when you're doing your cabbage. I got a little piece of the core. Nobody wants to bite into that. Yeah, so we started school last week. Our family homeschools. So my twins started 8th grade. And so we are in the midst of, trying to get out of the summer schedule, back into the homeschool schedule, waking up a little bit, actually getting up and then having to be productive. That's a whole different ball game, right? So having some quick dinners this week has been a lifesaver because I'm kind of tired by the end of the night too. All right, so as you saw, some of the bigger chunks I'm just kind of breaking up with my hand because, I don't want a whole big old chunk of cabbage like that. Next, I'm going to go ahead and toss in these water chestnuts. I already drained and rinsed them. If you've never cooked with or eaten a water chestnut, they are just little, these are sliced ones, but you can eat them raw. They don't have that much flavor. They're very crunchy. They kind of sort of have a nutty flavor. Lightly. Sometimes I think of them like celery, but they definitely have a distinct flavor from celery. But they just kind of give a nice light crunch to your dish. They're very mild in flavor. They do have some, but it's not anything that's really strong or overpowering. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this to low because I don't want everything sticking. And we'll chop up some celery next. I'm just gonna go ahead and chop up the greens too. If they were wilting looking, I would pull them out, but here are my eyes. The greens look perfectly great on this celery. So the vegetables that I chose tonight, I chose specifically all very kind of mild flavored vegetables other than the bell pepper. That way the fish can be highlighted. Now, for my friends who do not like seafood, you can totally use chicken in this dish. Just sub out that protein and do chicken. Now we'll go for the bell pepper. I pulled out 2, but I think I'm just gonna use 1. I wasn't sure how much I wanted. And again, That's the whole, you know, I don't cook with a recipe. I'm just kind of playing it by ear. I'm gonna go ahead, if you put the bell pepper skin side down on your cutting board, it helps your knife go through. And I'm just going to cut thin little slices. I'm like on a big bell pepper kick right now. It's never been one of my favorite vegetables, but suddenly red bell pepper is just like super tasty to me right now. Do any of y'all kind of like have sudden changes like that where a vegetable that you were used to really care for, all of a sudden you like, or vice versa? I mean, I've cooked with bell pepper for years, but it's always just been one of those, oh, it's a filler extra ingredient. But now all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I like the flavor of red bell pepper specifically. Okay, so these are snow peas. You could also use the sugar snap peas, which are like the thicker ones. But I tend to prefer this one. These two have gone bad. This bag's open because I've been adding these to my husband's salads all week. He likes them just chopped up into a salad for lunch. Since he's been working from home since the beginning of COVID, I have been making his lunch, which isn't something I ever used to do back when he went into the office. Well, occasionally I did, but I didn't do it very often. But now I'll just make him something while I'm making me something. My kids make their own lunches though. They have been making their own lunch and their own breakfast, gosh, probably since 4th grade, I'm guessing. It's been a while, unless it's like I'm in the mood, like I'll make pancakes, you know, for a special occasion or something. Okay. Oh, was that another bad one? Yes. No, that's just a stem on there, but whatever, we'll toss it out. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little salt to the vegetables. That'll give them a little bit of seasoning. I had some mushrooms too, but my pot is actually getting really full. And you know, today I think I'm just gonna leave the mushrooms out. So, oh, look how just vibrant and beautiful this is. It's amazing. All right, so while I have the vegetables back there just kind of simmering, it's on low, we're gonna go ahead and make a quick stir fry sauce. I'm gonna add just a little bit of soy. I like to use a naturally brewed soy sauce. It's a fermentation process that it goes through when they do it that way. And then some rice wine vinegar, because that's a nice mild vinegar. I know, a lot of people are like, well, how much? Seriously, just experiment with this. I put about equal parts soy and vinegar, not giving measurements because it's just a good way to experiment and kind of learn as you go along. And then I'm probably gonna put about, now to double it, of chicken stock. And then for some flavor, I got a spoon out for the arrowroot, but I'm gonna do the garlic next. Okay, so a lot of times I like to use my microplane for garlic and just grate it in, but I got a little aggressive when I was peeling it and it kind of smashed all apart. So when it kind of comes apart like that, I'll go ahead and grab my garlic press. But we want just really fine garlic. And whenever I use my garlic press, I tend to add 1 extra clove than what I was going for. So I pulled 4 kind of medium-sized cloves because the garlic press always steals some that you just can't get back. So boom. And my biggest hint is clean this right now, right away. There is nothing like dried on garlic. It is impossible to get off. Next, we're gonna add some ginger. So, oh, I forgot the honey. I'm gonna grab honey out of the pantry in just a minute. Here's my trick with ginger to keep it super simple and fast. I freeze this and then I don't even worry about peeling it. Some people say the peel is bitter. If you're really sensitive bitter flavors, you might wanna peel it. I never feel like it's bitter. So I just go ahead and grate it from frozen, peel and all. And then with the back of your finger, make sure you swipe off all the ginger that sticks to the back of the microplane. Okay, I'm gonna give my vegetables a quick stir and grab the honey out of the pantry. They're doing fine. I'm actually gonna go ahead and turn them off because I don't want them to like turn into mush. Okay, so, you know, about a tablespoon of that ginger and about the same for the honey. And then we'll taste it and we'll decide if you want to add any of the other ingredients. And that's why, you know, measuring isn't super important because you can taste as you go. So this is Arrowroot. It is a thickening agent. You could also use cornstarch, corn flour. Regular white flour will turn a sauce opaque, while this will keep it translucent. Usually in Asian dishes, they use arrow flour or corn flour. And it doesn't take much either, especially arrowroot flour. Arrowroot flour, I think, thickens with less product than corn flour. And if you have a corn allergy, you probably already know about arrowroot. That's where I learned about it at first. I don't do it as much, but I used to, anytime I'd eat processed corn products, I would sneeze like crazy. And now I still do it occasionally, but I don't do it as often. And I'm kind of really lazy about whether or not I avoid corn or not. Okay, now I'm whisking this together and we're gonna give it a taste. That's really good. I've got plenty of ginger. I've got the tang of the vinegar in there. It's plenty salty with the soy sauce. I'm thinking if I wanted to add a little bit more honey, but I don't want to add too much sugar, so I think we're going to call this good. Let's now get back over there to our veggies. Okay, for a stir-fry dish like this, I find that using the frozen prepackaged fish like this is really good, and it tends to be a little bit cheaper than when you buy it at the fish counter. So tonight I'm using orange roughy. You could use a tilapia or cod, just a white flavored fish. Sole would be really good also. It's kind of fun to experiment with different fishes because a lot of the white fishes are subtle in flavor, but they do have just, you know, different taste to them. For my vegan friends, this and in the sauce using a vegetable stock and agave instead of honey would be, you know, a really delicious dinner. And I would add the mushrooms at that point. But for my meat eaters, let's go ahead and, well, or pescatarians could eat this dish too. Again, so this is where you would, if you were going to do chicken, remove the vegetables from the skillet and then add in your chicken so that it can cook, and then add the vegetables back in. Because fish is so quick cooking, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a light chop and just go ahead and add it with the vegetables. And just for a little bit of excitement, I had some leftover shrimp from a different dinner this week. So I'm gonna add some shrimp to this dish too. If you had sea scallops, that would be amazing flavor too. I did kind of overcrowd my pan tonight, so it's less of a stir fry and a skillet meal, but man, let's go for it. All right, I'll go ahead and add these and then wash my hands. They have some water from when they were being thawed, so I'm gonna go ahead and drain out this water. Don't you love a good peeled and deveined shrimp? Makes life so much easier. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add some salt straight to my protein before I kind of toss it into these vegetables. So let's go ahead and do that. So they get down to the heat of the skillet. And I now have this on high because we need to bring the sauce up to just barely to a boil to get it to thicken up. So I'm gonna give the fish and shrimp just a few minutes to cook so that it'll be almost all the way cooked before I add in the sauce. So I went ahead and like put a cover on this a little bit just to kind of help speed up the cooking process because I am hungry. This dinner is taking a little bit longer than it would if I wasn't filming. This is a very fast dinner, but when you're filming as you are cooking, things slow down a little bit. Okay, as you can see, the fish is now a brighter white and the shrimp is starting to turn pink. So we're gonna go ahead and add in the sauce. I'm gonna give it another stir again. And this won't take very long at all. Okay, so we're gonna get it worked through, get all the veggies nice and coated. This is going to be so delicious. I've got some rice cooking in my Instapot to serve underneath this. Yum. My 8th graders this year cannot believe it. They're taking a personal finance class and they're signed up to take a Spanish class this year. Homeschooling is so much fun. You get a lot of choices of what classes you want to take. I mean, they're not excited about personal finance, but they do understand that it is an important class to take. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a quick taste. kind of lowering the temperature because it's getting really hot. I don't want it to stick. I just want to see if my seasoning's right. Oh, it's so good. I love ginger sauces. Okay, so yeah, this is perfect. So let's plate it up and give it a real on full test. Here it is, all plated up. I did go ahead and add some cashews and a little bit of green onion. So especially if you're doing this as vegetarian or vegan, the cashews will add a lot of yummy flavor and a little bit more crunch. I love different textures, the soft fish, the crunchy water chestnuts, and cashew nuts. All right, I'm gonna get a piece of this orange roughy. That is really good. The fish is really settled to not overtake the flavor of the sauce, and the ginger sauce just comes through. This is gonna be so good. It's so light and healthy. I'm excited. I'm pretty sure I have enough for leftovers for lunch tomorrow, which normally I don't like seafood for leftovers, but I don't mind so much when it's a stir fry because like when you reheat it, you know, the sauce helps keep it not from drying out. Anyway, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't yet, make sure you please hit that free subscribe button so that I can help grow my community of foodies. I love discussing food, what you would do substitution-wise. I love getting new ideas for recipes and inspiring you to cook at home. Until next time, bye.